Okay, so I've been researching a lot about binge eating because I don't know everything. My doctor couldn't explain everything. But I can tell you some things like binge eating disorder was diagnosed after anorexia, which was known about or seen in history for a long time, bulimia, um, and then binge eating disorder in 94. So it's only 26 years old, 27. But and sometimes it still gets shifted in with bulimia, even though they are two different things. And the range of what binge eating is huge, and how to counteract it is huge, and the reasons you're doing it, there's so many. So it's a long trip to try and figure out what exactly is going on and how to fix it. So far, I have created a morning and an evening routine that kind of revolve around self-care and making myself feel better. So in the morning, I'm going to make sure to wake up and do a stretch, some kind of workout, the varying intensity, and do my physio workout to make sure that my muscles are okay. I'm not going to turn my phone on until I get all the way through my morning routine. So that way I'm not waking up, going on Twitter and stressing myself out by looking at all the crazy people in the world. So workout, stretch, physio, eat a healthy breakfast with protein and fat and a vegetable, and take my pills. Then I'll go about my normal day. This isn't very different from what I was doing before. I just need to make it consistent, and I even need to do it on weekends. So on weekends I'll do it, and then maybe I'll go back to bed or whatever. In the evening, I'm going to make sure to get some fresh air. I'm going to make sure to either kick and punch my punching bag or dance, because both of those things de-stress me and are fun. I'm going to make sure to journal or do these video logs. And I'm going to make sure to meditate. I don't know how to meditate. And I often drift off and start thinking about other things. Or I start to over focus on why I'm meditating, and then I'm like, meditating so I don't eat, so don't eat. Oh, now you're hungry, now you want to eat, now you know where the junk food is in the house. But I actually thought about it today, and I watched some videos, and somebody's like, you have to remember, you meditate to prevent something and to set your intention. And I always thought you should meditate in the morning because then you'd set your intention for the whole day. But then you can end up with 8 hours in between when you set a goal and you did your breathing and you relaxed your body, and suddenly it's 5 o'clock, and that part of your calmness, that part of your self-care is gone. So a few times throughout the day, and especially in the evening, I'm going to try meditating for about 5 minutes with peaceful, calm music and just relaxing my body, focusing on my breathing, and trying not to drift off with my mind. I've also remembered you can meditate anywhere, so I love taking baths, and I'll meditate in the bath and think about what I need to do and just relax myself to help myself de-stress. I'm going to start with 5 minutes because, again, not good at meditating, and then maybe I'll add to it. I also find that learning more about the disorder that you have is really helping me. I can understand that it might make some people really, really stressed out because there's so much misinformation or different information. But it's helping me, especially because apparently I live in a province that doesn't have much information and many people to talk to. So we do have really good clinics, but some of them are really intense clinics that you would live at because you can't function because of your eating disorder. I'm not at that point. And then we have very full clinics that don't take patients at the moment. And so I also ordered some books about binge eating disorder, and I was looking at intentional eating, different things like that. But let me tell you about today. So I took my Vyvanse this morning, but I knew there was junk food in the house. And so I ate that for breakfast. I had Ichiban and Chef Boyardee, which together is about 1,000 calories, way more than you need in one meal. And there's no fruits or vegetables in it. Later in the day, I did really good after that. Like, I got through my morning routine. Later in the day, I invited my dad over because he's the only other person allowed to see me right now. We both live alone. And we were watching TV shows together. And I was drinking tea, drinking water, drinking hot chocolate. I knew I was hungry. And I grabbed a banana. But I knew like I actually needed like a lunch, like a meal with some protein. And I wouldn't eat in front of him. It was really weird. Like, even though I knew I needed it, was mentally telling myself it was fine to grab some ham and cheese and some pickles or something. Like, my brain wouldn't let me eat in front of him. And we watched TV shows for 4 hours. So, well, about like 3 hours. But regardless, that was 3 hours of me knowing I was hungry. So, of course, he leaves, and I gorged on cookies, chips, and some more Ichiban. And no fruits and vegetables. And I'm kicking myself, first of all, because I shouldn't have had it in the house. And maybe that's a big point for me, is I just shouldn't bring it in the house. And if I do bring it in the house, I should put it somewhere else, or walk to a store and donate it to charity if I don't eat it when I had planned to eat it. But on the side of the Vyvanse that I'm taking, as I said, Vyvanse will only cut your binge eating. It won't fully make it go away. There's so many other issues happening. So it did cut it, because there was a few days there I didn't binge eat, I didn't overeat, and I didn't feel guilty about what I was eating. But yesterday's dinner, which was a planned event, so I didn't feel that guilty about it. It was a Christmas event. Everybody was eating junk food, and I would normally have this every year. So I don't feel that guilty about last night, but today's eating, it's going to weigh on me for a little bit, and I can already feel that it's going to weigh on me, and I'm trying to talk myself up and be like, tomorrow's a new day, and the very logical part of my head is still turned on, but that other part where the eating disorder comes from, whatever part isn't working right and needs to get some therapy, that part is kind of ignoring the logical part. So again, pills are not the be-all end-all of this disease. There's a lot of other things to do, and even if you have a great plan and a great day, there's seems to still be up and down.